Hi everybody, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Core Concepts Part 7, brought to you by Island Top Team. We are going to address the concept of grips and how they relate to posture, structure, and base in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The concept of grips, or the notion of grips, is massively emphasized, especially in the early parts of training. You see people making grips. Some people will tell you that when you make a grip, you never let it go, and the grips are everything. I find that to be a misunderstanding of a proper grappling concept. If I have grips by themselves without proper positioning, then I don't really have anything. So for instance, if I'm in Brad's guard, a grip by itself is not necessarily a threat. If he makes a collar grip, there you go. I can spend a lot of time here fighting grips in sort of the standard way, like this is a pretty standard grip break, which he pretty much let me do that. If he wants to like hold real tight, that's really difficult to do. But if we look at, again, some of the stuff we've talked about in the past, which is accessing levers and separating limbs from the body, if Brad makes the same grip and I simply push on his elbow, I can make him let go very easily. So the idea of making grips where you don't have the necessary structure to keep them. Now, if Brad closes his elbow, now I can't access that elbow. But if I take this hand and separate his arm and access that same lever, I can break that same grip in exactly the same way. So this is simply to illustrate that grips by themselves, without the concept of structure, posture, and base, are entirely irrelevant. Taken to another example, if let's say Brad is on top and he has grabbed, for instance, my collar here. I can always use my leg very easily to break that without using any of the traditional kind of grip breaks, simply by using a stronger structure. I can also use the exact same concept as before. I lean away and I access the lever of his elbow, which again is very different than what you mostly see, which is a lot of these kind of violent grip breaks that are based on force application rather than simple leverage. I extend, I access a lever, and I break the grip very easily. So that's just a short explanation of how, without proper posture, and in this case particularly structure, which is correct arm positioning, grips by themselves are no threat whatsoever. In point of fact, as I break this, I access now the space between his armpit and his hip. Now I have an attack because I've opened up his structure and compromised his base. In fact, he compromises his base by holding on to this too long so that when I break, I have good structure, I have good base, I can attack immediately in this instance without having to worry about a reply. So grips by themselves are nothing. Grips with posture, with good structure, with good base, with good positioning are much more important. Island Top Team and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Core Concepts. Come visit us in Nanaimo.